Hello and welcome to the Bottom Up Podcast. I'm Mike Parsons. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at Qualitance, and today we're going to be doing a case study on Revolut, who we have called the Amazon of banking. So we're going to dig right into what they've been doing and see fundamentally what we can learn from them. So to get you up to speed, these guys have been quite busy the last 5 years since they started. They have over 10 million users. They have over 800 million in funding. Their valuation is roughly 5.5 billion, and they have over 2,000 staff. So they're doing a lot of things right, I can promise you that. I think they're moving into disrupting a very traditional market, so that's also very interesting. And I think that unlike the WeWork case study, I think these guys are pretty strong across the board in showing all the signals that they're going to dominate the market. So what a perfect time to look in, to learn, to understand what they're doing so well. Now, as usual, we're going to use our famous bottom-up 4 Ps: people, product, profit, and promotion to understand their business. And the reason I really like these so much is we get to look on the outside of the business, on the inside of the business. It's a very good way for us to understand what they're doing and really to try and learn from them. So for today's episode, we're going to get into the world of product. Let's dive in there. And I think the first thought that I have for you is this really is not just a good product. I think it's actually a great product. And the reason for this is it's got 2 characteristics. The first thing is it's solving a massive problem. I mean, money is really important to get so much done in our lives. This is not a nice to have. This is pretty much, you got to have this. And what goes alongside that so very well is this is something that you use every single day, whether you're buying things, transferring, checking balances, traveling, you name it. Money kind of comes up a lot, and so they're very lucky. I think of this very much like a venture capitalist's wet dream. I mean, this is perfect for them. This is a product that solves a big problem, and it solves it every single day. So, I mean, this is getting on the homepage of your iPhone. I mean, this is a great product. So let's have a look at the kind of 5 key pillars of what they're doing now. And I will say this, that they are releasing new features pretty quickly. So I think you can expect this to double or triple by 2021. So Revolut will help you manage your money, travel with ease, send money to friends. They've got some good security features. And lastly, they've just really ramped up their exchange on cryptocurrency. So pretty solid start there. And considering that they already have 10 million users, that's a pretty phenomenal job. Now, let's break down even further some of the things that they're doing, some of the things that we can learn from how they're building their product. And you might want to put these features into your product too. Number 1, the first thing that they're doing is they have a very clear focus on this thing which we call the aha moment. And what that is they know that when you transfer €5 to a friend, it's so easy, so fast, so instant, so satisfying that you're sort of hooked on their product after that. You've really got it. And so they really focus on getting customers to that moment of transfer as quick as possible. And now if they do this, they pretty much know that they're gold. And the real reminder in this product is it is insanely simple. And this enables both speed and ease of use. Like, you don't have to think too hard to get the job done here. And sometimes when I look at how easy it is to transfer money on Revolut, I kind of feel like they've removed every single step or click that they could, much like in the way Uber, for example, really tries to remove any data entry. You don't have to get out your credit card. So in that way, I think Revolut's quite similar to Amazon. Now, the next thing is that what they do super well is they have this incredible useful search. I don't know about you, but I find search pretty rotten with most of my banking products that I use either for home or for business. And what they've done is they've done a couple of really, really good industry practices. First of all, they start preloading results as you type, and they give you predictive search, meaning that as you're typing, they try to guess the word that you're actually typing in. Again, these are little microseconds that they are trying to cut out of the experience so you can get there as fast as possible. So that search is really important, and it's almost Google-like in the way you search. Now, why my banks don't make search, I mean, it's such a straightforward, standard feature. It's just amazing to me that Revolut have been able to come along and produce something that is just so simple and easy to use and so compelling compared to the industry. Okay, next thing. This is the third thing they do around product, which I think is super interesting, is they've done some really interesting thinking around the product and how they want to build it. And it means that they can introduce new features really quickly and easily. I will come to how they've actually engineered on the back end to do that, but I want to stay with the front end features right now. They offer a really compelling ease of use when we move to additional products or features. And this is what we call in the industry the cross-sell. So in this case, it's very easy for me to jump into, say, crypto when I'm just finished checking my balances. And because they make this so easy, so seamless, one app, what's really interesting is a lot of banks that I've used, my investment app is actually a separate app to the normal banking app. Just a little bit of extra friction there. Revolut have removed those. So they make crypto investing really easy. Now, I mentioned a little bit about their thinking in terms of back-end architecture and how they think about the product stack. Now, this is the fourth thing that we can really learn from them. They call it banking as a platform. This is just another fancy way of saying end-to-end application. So I want to unpack this a little bit through an example. And the starting point here is that they build most of their core features, if not all of them themselves, and they have very little third-party dependencies. This gives them a couple of really key benefits. They're agile, they can release new features really fast, and they understand the product stack. So if they need to change something in the way a particular feature works, say a credit check, they can do that with great control and precision. If you're licensing it through a third party, it becomes a bit harder because you have to go to the third party. Now, I've got this great example I want to share with you. It's around a card fraud detection system. And in the case of Revolut, what they went and did is they went and built it all themselves, and they called it Sherlock. Now, what's really interesting about Sherlock is they built it in just 9 months, which is actually pretty good. And here are some interesting facts about Sherlock. They saved a ton of money in production because they got it done in 9 months. It's very, very accurate on catching historical fraudulent transactions, about 96%. But what's really cool is its predictive technology is actually very, very accurate. So 3 out of every 10 predictions turn out to be right. So they can predict fraud before it happens. Now, if you're super interested in this, jump onto Google and have a surf around. You'll actually find they've got a whole article about how they built it using the Google Cloud platform. It's just really interesting to show you how they went about building one of the features in their banking as a platform architecture. So before we wrap up, a couple of key thoughts here. Now, this is where we really start to expand our understanding of their product. And I'm going to explain to you their essential product strategy, and I'm going to do it through a little quote from Stranovski, founder and CEO of Revolut. And just check this out. This is what he says. The reality is what we're trying to achieve is to build a 10x better financial services company that is 10x cheaper as well. And the only way to do it is not building just one product, but building a platform with a lot of products on top of it. So we know we can expect a ton more products and features coming on this platform. And what's really interesting is that the bar that they are setting is not only making it 10 times better in getting the jobs to be done for users like ticked, they're also going to make it radically cheaper. And it's because they built the platform that they can go faster, release more products, release better products, but also because they are in so much control of the platform, you're going to see that they're going to make a lot more money. Now, I'm going to get on to profit in a separate episode, but this was some really interesting thinking around the product, and it's so good to hear from the founder about their product vision. So before we do a recap, if you do want to know anything more about Revolut, jump on over to bottomup.io. There you're going to find a whole ton of work that we've done, a whole masterclass on these guys, lots of video and research and data. So jump over to bottomup.io and make sure you remember some of the key principles that Revolut have done in building their product. Number one, they're solving a massive problem every single day. Don't underestimate that. Super useful. It's on my homepage. They focus on this aha moment. They know when they've got the customer. They make retrieving data like so simple, so easy, delightful even. And lastly, they've thought about this as, banking as a platform. So there you have it. This is the product of Revolut. Once again, if you are interested, jump over to bottomup.io and you can get a whole lot more on Revolut, case studies on WeWork, and many, many others. That's it for today's episode of the Bottom Up Podcast.